Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Sports Blitz here, and we're back with our NFL Week 8 power rankings. Wow, that feels weird to say. The season's gone by really fast. Before I jump into it, I just wanted to say sorry that I have been inactive the past couple weeks. Been really dealing with a lot of stuff. Just been having a really hard time lately, so sorry for the lack of content, but I am back. Very happy to get back to uploading, producing content for you guys. So let's go ahead and get into our Week 8 power rankings. Also, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. So, kicking off, we have at 32 the Houston Texans. Now, I will say right off the bat, I very strongly considered having the Lions right here because they technically haven't won a game yet. But they've played some really tough teams, and they've kept it really close. I mean, Dan Campbell is having those guys play tough. They're very competitive in about every game. I mean, they very well should have won that game against the Ravens. They were very competitive against the Rams. I just feel like the Lions are a tougher team than their record shows. So I decided to put the Texans here instead. They have very, very badly struggled the last few weeks, both defensively and offensively. They haven't been able to get anything going offensively, and teams have just been able to run the ball down their throats. Their passing defense really doesn't look all that bad right now, but their rush defense is just terrible. Teams are able to just eat up the clock and dominate time of possession, and this Texans team is looking rough. So, 31, I have the Jaguars. I know it was their bye week, but, I'm still not confident in this team. I know their last game was a win against the Miami Dolphins, but disclaimer, I don't have the Dolphins very high in my power rankings either. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they beat a very tough team. I don't think Urban Meyer has the respect in the locker room here. I don't think their players really respect him, and really, I don't think they have a reason to. Urban Meyer hasn't really shown anything, to be honest. So, yeah, that's why I have the Jaguars at 31. Number 30, I have the Jets. Now, I'll be honest, the Jets have really disappointed me this year. I expected them to come in and be a team that, with Robert Saleh, I thought he was going to be a really good coach. I thought he was going to have these guys playing tough. I thought they were going to be a lot like the Panthers of 2020, where, yeah, they lose a lot of games, but they stay very, very competitive in those games. That hasn't been the case for the Jets. If I remember correctly, I think the Jets have only still won that one game against the Titans. That was really close. Other than that, they've played very, very badly. They got absolutely blown out by the Patriots, and they're just not in a good spot right now. So that's why I have them at number 30. 29, I have the Detroit Lions. Again, I know they haven't won any games, but Dan Campbell has these guys playing tough. They have them looking like a way better team than they really are. DeAndre Swift is balling out. Jamal Williams is also a very solid number 2 option. Jared Goff could definitely improve. He's not, anything great for them, but he's playing at least decent-ish. I've been impressed with how their defense has stepped up in recent weeks. So, good on the Lions. I think Dan Campbell's the right guy for them. And I've been saying it since the start of the season. I love Dan Campbell as a coach. So, 28, actually, I have the Miami Dolphins. Like I mentioned earlier, they're not a very good team. They lost to the Jaguars. They lost to the Jaguars, and then proceeded to lose to the Falcons, and they're just not a very good team right now. I mean, there's not much to say about it. Like, I hear that Brian Flores doesn't really have the trust from the locker room there either. There is rumors that they are the top candidate to land Deshaun Watson. At least as of the time of recording this video, Deshaun Watson is still a Houston Texan and hasn't been traded yet. Who knows? With my luck, it's going to be right as I upload this that he gets traded, so it's going to look bad. But, yeah, no, for right now, the Dolphins just aren't a good team. Offensively or defensively, they don't look good at all. 27, I have the Washington football team. Pretty similar situation to the Dolphins. I think their offense is a little bit better. Their defense has been really disappointing this year, though. I really expected them to be a top 5 defense, and they've been nowhere near that. It's been really disappointing, actually. I was excited to watch this defense this year, and they just haven't been good. They've got issues, clear to the top of the organization, obviously with Dan Snyder and the front office, and just a lot of management issues. There's not a lot good about this team right now. They're in a tough spot. I think 27 is kind of the best I can really give them right now. 26, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'll be honest, I considered having the Eagles higher than they were because they've been pretty competitive in all of their games. In fact, a few weeks ago, they almost pulled off a comeback against Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get that, but I think it comes down to coaching issues. I'm not a big fan of Nick Sirianni, to be honest. I think they definitely need to run the ball more than they have. They are throwing the ball way too much, and I'll be honest, I still like Jalen Hurts. I still think Jalen Hurts is an excellent quarterback. Fans need to give him more of a chance than they have. I know he is I know they're technically a candidate to land Deshaun Watson. I don't think they should get him. I think Jalen Hurts is doing just fine. They should save their draft capital, keep building that team, and they can get back to contending soon. I really believe that. I think it's more coaching issues than anything. 25, I have the Denver Broncos. It's been kind of a story with both them and the Carolina Panthers where, they started out 3-0, have lost 4 straight, and just haven't looked good. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't look like that guy. There's rumors that they're going to put Drew Lock in instead. I don't think he's going to be much better, if any. They're also apparently really involved in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes as well, so we'll see what happens there. But for right now, they're just not in a very good spot either. 24, like I mentioned with the Broncos, started out 3-0. Panthers are now 3-4. Lost 4 straight. Darnold is not that guy. He's missing a lot of wide open receivers. And I'll be honest here too, I'm not a fan of Joe Brady's play calling. I don't think he's fit to be an NFL offensive coordinator. But, he doesn't have a great O-line or quarterback to work with. Immediately after that loss to the Giants, I heard that their owner, David Tepper, apparently went into the locker room, and I don't know if it was to chew out players, if it was to talk to coaches or what, but it didn't sound good. And literally right after that, you heard rumors about the Panthers getting involved with the Deshaun Watson situation. David Tepper, I strongly believe, will be very aggressive in trying to get Deshaun Watson, and if they get him, I think this team could very well take some big steps forward. 23, I have the Chicago Bears. They're a confusing team to me. Like, one week their defense will just look absolutely dominant and kind of carry them through the games. Another week their defense will just be non-existent. This last week against the Bucs, that's kind of how their defense and their offense was. Neither their offense or defense did anything against Tampa Bay. Justin Fields, I want to say, had 6 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. The O-line definitely remains a problem, so I think they need to invest some draft capital into fixing the O-line. I'm still not a believer in Matt Nagy, to be honest. I'm really not. So I think the Bears are also in a very tough spot. 22, I have the New York Giants. Now, I'll be honest, in these couple weeks that I had been away, I didn't expect the Giants to jump this much. They absolutely dominated the Panthers. They've played very well recently. I know they're a confusing team. They're very inconsistent, but I feel like this team still has a lot of potential. And keep in mind, they dominated the Panthers without having Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley. I want to say they had one of their offensive linemen out. Like, this team has talent, and I don't think we should be saying that Joe Judge should be fired yet. I don't get where all those rumors are coming from. I think Joe Judge is still a great coach. Yeah, they need to be more consistent, but I don't think it's coaching issues. I really don't. I think this is a good team. 21, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They've played some tough teams, but especially with Russell Wilson being down and their defense really not playing all that well, they're not really in really a great spot, to be totally honest. So yeah, there's definitely that. Geno Smith, I'll be honest, I really expected Geno Smith to not be good per se. I didn't expect him to be Russell Wilson by any means. Like, I didn't expect him to, step in and replace him very well. But I just don't think Geno Smith has been very good at all, if I'm being honest. He hasn't made much happen for this offense. He's turned over the ball a few times. I'll be honest. They had plenty of opportunities to win that game last night against the Saints. Their defense was giving them plenty of chances. Their offense couldn't make it happen. If Russell Wilson was out there, I strongly, strongly believe the Seahawks would have won that game. But with having Russell Wilson out, this team is just not the same. They're 2-5 right now, and it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs at this rate. Number 20, another shock here. I have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I feel like just a few weeks ago, we were talking about the Falcons being, I want to say, like 1-4 or something like that. Or maybe 1-3, because I believe they're 3-3 right now, aren't they? I want to say they're 3-3. Let me hurry and fact check myself. I know they've won 3 games, but I'm trying to remember if they're 3-3 or 3-4. I want to say they've already had their bye, so I think they're 3-3. Let me just fact check myself real quick. So they're 3-3. They've won back-to-back games. Yeah, it was against the Jets and the Dolphins, but still, they're wins. I think the offense is starting to pull together. Kyle Pitts is finally breaking out. This team's looking better. Arthur Smith is looking like a good coach. 19, I have the 49ers. I don't know what's going on with the Niners, man. Their defense isn't looking great. Neither Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo are looking really all that great, in my opinion. I know George Kittle has been injured, so that's been really tough. Their run game hasn't really been super, super productive, in my opinion. I don't see much happening for the 49ers. They're kind of just one of those middle-of-the-road teams that just needs help on both sides of the ball. Like, I don't know if it's that, Jimmy G or Trey Lance need more weapons. if they need better running backs, if it's just they need a better defense or what, but I just don't see this team making it too far with how they are right now. 18, I never thought I'd have the Chiefs this low. Their defense is bad. Their defense is really, really bad. I genuinely think this is a bottom 3 defense in the NFL. It's pretty laughably bad. Their offense this last Sunday played very bad as well, but I'm not really worried about their offense. Okay, I think their offense will still be good. Like, there's not much to worry about. I think Patrick Mahomes is still good despite his turnover issues. I mean, he's thrown 17 or 18 touchdowns. Like, it's not like he's a slouch or anything now. But, yeah, Chiefs just definitely aren't what they have been the past few years, and if they're not careful, the Chargers or Raiders may win that division. It's looking rough. 17, I have the Patriots. Patriots are still kind of a middle-of-the-road team for me. Like, I know they just blew out the Jets, but it's the Jets. Come on. I'd really like to see them do that against a dominant team like the Bills or, Chargers or Browns. And I don't remember exactly what all their schedule is. I don't know if they play all these teams. But I've got to see them dominate and do this type of stuff against really good elite teams. For right now, I kind of see them as a middle-of-the-road type of team. Especially where Mac Jones, I don't know if it's because of Bill Belichick's play calling or if Mac Jones really just doesn't have the ability to push the ball downfield. But they haven't really had that. They haven't had too much explosiveness on the offense. Yeah, they've had some big plays. Some of it has been Mac Jones. Some of it has been their playmakers. But they're just not really what you'd call an explosive offense. So I just kind of see them as a middle-of-the-road team right now. 16, I have the Steelers. I'll be honest, and yeah, I know this last week was their bye week, but even before that, the Steelers' offense had really started to step up. Early in the season, their offense was looking really, really rough. Ben Roethlisberger was not looking like, a good quarterback for them. He stepped up. The offensive line started doing better. Najee Harris is balling out for them right now. If they can figure out the offense a little bit more, this team could very well get back to, really contending for playoffs. 15, I have the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I know they are 3-4, I believe, right now. But I'm just going to say this right now. I'm not sure there's been another team that's had a schedule as hard as the Colts up to this point. The Colts have faced some really tough teams. The Seahawks, the Titans, the 49ers. I know they've played some other really tough teams, and they've played them tough. Like, it hasn't been absolute blowouts either. I think the Colts are a good team, and where their schedule is going to start to, get a little bit lighter coming up, I think they're going to start winning a lot of games pretty soon. They could get back into contention for the AFC playoffs. So, solid team. 14, I have the Saints. I'm still not sold on the Saints. I think they have a good defense. I really do. But I'm not sold on Jameis. He's too inconsistent. I think he's really being carried by an amazing coach. I think Sean Payton is an incredible coach, even still. His play calling is immaculate. He's great at, clock management, making sure his guys are disciplined. Like, he's a good coach. If if it was about anybody else, I think this team would honestly only have 1 or 2 wins at this point. So, definitely being carried by a good defense and a good coach here. But they are 4-2. I don't think it would be fair to have them lower than 14. Number 13, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They have played very well recently. They've also had a couple very, very, very close losses. One to the Cardinals that had their kicker made that game-winning field goal, the Cardinals wouldn't be undefeated at this point. So, I mean, the Vikings, like, honestly, their biggest threat is themselves. If they could stop shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, missed field goals, just stupid stuff like that, this could be a really good team. I mean, their defense has shown that they're capable of, shutting down offenses. Dalvin Cook still remains a top 5 running back. Their receivers are amazing. I mean, even KJ Osborne, that dude is underrated as hell. Like, they've got everything. They really do. I mean, I want to say Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin are still the best pass rushing duo in terms of sacks in the NFL. So this team has a very high ceiling, and I very well expect them to compete for the playoffs this year. Number 12, I have the Ravens. I considered having them a little bit lower because of getting blown out by the Bengals, but I realized more it's not about the Ravens really being bad at all. It's about the Bengals are just so much better than we expected. I mean, coming to the season, I want to say I had them at like 6-11 or maybe 7-10. They're 5-2 at this point. Like, and I mean, they've got the Jets this week too. They're probably gonna start out 6-2. Like, it was a really good team they lost to. Plus, I mean, the Chiefs have also been blown out too. Are we really gonna, say that they're fake because of one bad game? I think the Ravens are still a really good team. Number 11, I have the Cleveland Browns. Injuries, man. Too many injuries. I will say, I'm fully confident in saying this. The Browns have the best O-line in football. There's not an offensive line that is better than the Browns. They can make any running back look amazing. And no disrespect to Dearness Johnson. Sorry. No disrespect to him at all, but he looked good back there behind this O-line. I really think they can make any running back look good. I mean, they were missing Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and hell, they didn't have Baker Mayfield either. They still beat the Broncos. Dearness Johnson had over 100 total yards and dominated, I think injuries really keep plaguing this team, and once they get healthy, they're gonna really get back to being a strong contender. I truly believe that. So, number 10, I have the Bengals. I did not think, coming to the season, that the Bengals would be on top of the AFC North. In fact, the AFC in general, they're technically the number 1 seed in the AFC right now. So, it's crazy. Their defense has been balling out. Jamar Chase is... man, he's insane. Now, keep in mind, all offseason, I had Jamar Chase as my best receiver, okay? I didn't fall under the whole Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle bullshit. Like, I knew Jamar Chase was that guy. Did I think he was going to put up this type of production? Not quite. Joe Burrow has been amazing. I think it's honestly time to consider Joe Burrow a strong MVP candidate. He may not be leading the ranks right now, but he's going to climb up there, and I think he should at least be considered at this point. Bengals are looking really good right now. I also genuinely think it might be time to say the AFC North is the best division in football. I think they're tougher than the NFC West. And I don't really see another division that's tougher than the AFC North right now. It's a good division right now. Number 9, I have the Raiders. Raiders, I still think are a really tough team. I've had to apologize to the Raiders every single week because coming to the season, I had them at like 3-14. They're already 5-2. So yeah, I've had to apologize to Raiders fans like every single week, but yeah, they proved me wrong. Raiders are a good team. Not much more to say about that. Number 8, we have the Chargers. And I'll be honest, I think the Chargers still an amazing team. Definitely, honestly, in my opinion, I think they're a top 3 AFC team. The only reason that they fell a little bit is because of them being on a bye and just other teams dominating this week. So let's go ahead and get into those. We have the Packers at number 7. I mean, they still haven't lost a game since that week 1 game against the Saints. They're undefeated since then. So, been playing really, really well. Aaron Rodgers isn't washed up. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about the Packers here. Number 6, we have the Titans. They're such a confusing team. I mean, they lost to the Jets, but then they ended up beating the Bills, and then they absolutely dominated the Chiefs. I didn't expect their defense to hold the Chiefs to 3 points. I mean, I don't know if this means that the Titans are genuinely that good or if they're just inconsistent or what. They're a confusing team, but I'm gonna believe them right now. I think they're legit. So I have them at number 6 right now. Number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Dak is an MVP candidate. Their offensive line is back to being elite like it was in 2016. Their defense has played very well this year. Trayvon Diggs has been an absolute stud with at least 1 interception in every game this year. Yeah, I don't know much to say about these really good teams because it's all stuff like everybody already knows. Like, Cowboys are a good team. Number 4, I have the Rams. I strongly considered having them still in top 3, but I feel like these other top 3 teams I just think they're better. I feel like the Rams, they've still been winning lately, but they haven't been quite as crushing of wins as earlier this season. Matt Stafford still looks really good, but he doesn't look like he's like dominant MVP Matt Stafford. So that's why I have him at number 4. Number 3, I have the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen is still an MVP candidate, in my opinion. Their defense is dominant. Dawson Knox is legit. Stephon Diggs is still a stud. Cole Beasley is playing well. Like, no negativity against the Bills here. I just think these last 2 teams, which I'm just going to say right now, are the Bucs and the Cardinals. I just think they're better right now. Number 2, I have the Bucs. I mean, you know why. Their defense is legit and their offense is legit. They've still only lost that 1 game to the Rams. Other than that, they've been dominating their opponents. Like, it hasn't just been like a like a simple win by a field goal type of game. They've been dominating their opponents. So, Still very good. And number 1, I have the Cardinals. They haven't lost at all. They dominated the Browns a couple weeks ago. They haven't shown me any reason to not have them at number 1. They've been very, very, very good. So, but yeah, those are my power rankings so far going into week 8. Let me know what you agreed with, what you didn't agree with. Again, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Later.